Hello, everyone. And this is our next community call and Ask Me Anything session. This week we have Chair and Joshua from Rainbow Rolls. They are going to tell us about Rainbow Rolls so we all have some understanding of the project, the cool NFT project. They have some plans for BrightID verified users too. I'm excited to learn about that. But yeah, I don't want to take more time, and I'm gonna pass it to Chair or Josh. I don't know who is gonna take this and tell us about rainbow rolls.
I'll pass to Josh. I think the inception of the idea came originally from him, and I think that's the good place to start with how this all began.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's two parts to the origin story. One of them is at ETH Denver, where the ETH Denver team minted, and I wish I had it with me, but I'm at my folks' house. Toilet paper that had BitConnect's logo on it, and that was in the stalls at ETH Denver. So grateful to John Paller for giving me a role that was part of the inspiration for this. And another one was a Hudson Jameson tweet thread where he said he was selling all of his Bitcoin because of X, Y, and Z, and another friend, Steven, who's a Bitcoin maximalist, replied that he was selling all of his ETH because of X, Y, and Z. And then I replied with the only funny joke I've ever told on Twitter, which was that at least toilet paper is deflationary. And so that kind of cascaded into, already a question. It cascaded into a series of there's a Telegram chat where someone was posting. It was I think it was like Pepe Glocks or something stupid, and I snapped. I was like, this is the NFT PFP space is just copy and pasting garbage photos onto one another, and it's becoming very derivative, and people will buy anything in these stupid cash grabs. So why don't we make one, but instead of a cash grab, let's do it for public goods. So the vast majority of the funds that are being raised through the mint and then secondary sales is going to a combination of Gitcoin, Giveth, and RIP medical debt. We were going to go with charities that focused on toilet paper themed body parts, but instead we decided to go through the Web3 ethos of cutting out the middleman instead of funding research that may eventually lead to helping people. We decided we were going to go direct and white medical debt, and we started Googling what's the best way to do this. And there's a charity out in New York that was already set up to, they buy bulk medical debt. And right now the rate is for every dollar that you donate, $100 of medical debt gets waived. And based off of the ETH that we plan on raising and donating to them, it'll end up being almost $1 million, which from the initial mint, which corresponds to about $100 million in medical debt that we're going to waive or buy and waive directly. So that's where the money is going. That was kind of the plan. The team that we put together is an epic collaboration from around the space. I started asking people who wants to work on this, and Chair stepped up to PM. We grabbed folks from Badger and Raid Guild, and I wish I had the entire list in front of me instead of. I've got it. Raid Guild, Gitcoin, Badger DAO, Opolis, Giveth, Metagame, Metacartel, Spork DAO, Popsicle Finance, NTFA, Metafactory, Open Zeppelin, LS DAO, and the Defiant Pixel Society. And then another one that chose not to be named. They've got Marines. It's a really a great collaboration of people who came together for a good cause, and we're really excited for this mint on Tuesday.
This started about 5, at most 6 weeks ago. I believe our first ping was around like August 28th. And, for all of I think everyone is aware of how, my dog is barking. I think everyone is aware how busy everyone is in the space right now. And I think everyone on that list is as well, juggling 3 or 4 projects at the same time. But the pace and the enthusiasm that has surrounded this project from the beginning, knowing that how busy everyone is, for us to be able to get to this point and being a few days away from mint has been, like, from my perspective, an incredibly rewarding thing to be a part of. And it looks like as we're gaining momentum, we're going to be able to wipe up and do a
Yeah.
lot of good.
And how does this relate to BrightID? I don't work with the team, but I've been a follower and supporter for over a year now. Was this when I met you guys for the first time? And the process of helping create civil resistance online is one of the best public goods that we could possibly work toward. And so what we've done is we've used the BrightID bot to help try to create a civil resistance through the FOMO mechanism of trying to be able to access the giveaways and being able to not mint, but be able to access the higher levels of the Discord, which if you look through the statistics of who is minting these things, it's like the same, like 1, 2, 3,000 people who are minting a lot of the same projects. And hopefully we can FOMO them into the civil resistance mechanism and get it
Onboard
to ripple throughout Discord.
all of the hardcore NFT minters will have to have a BrightID profile. Yeah, essentially, to be eligible for a giveaway, you need to be BrightID verified, which hopefully most people on this call are. And you can go in and do the bot commands, verify in me, and you will earn your verified status. We have giveaways, we have contests, we have prizes and different levels of exposure based on how many roles that you hold, and like with different levels, like after minting, there will be a distinction between 1, 3, 5, 10 rainbow rolls in your wallet, but all of those will require BrightID verification in order to have access to the other giveaways that we're doing. So a leg up for the 36 or so on this call, to make sure that you guys are in. Josh, what am I missing on that? NFTP.fun, NFTP.FUN, and that's twitter.com/rainbow_rolls are the URLs.
I think that's probably enough talking from us, but I'd love to answer questions and then do more talking.
Awesome. So let's start with some questions that are specifically about rainbow rolls and what that is. I posted a link to your Discord down there. Yeah, so go check it out. I mean, that's the best way to get hands-on and learn about that. I don't see any written questions. Does anybody want to raise their hand and ask anything to Josh or Chair about rainbow rolls?
I have. I want to ask, if you want to put it really simple. I'm sure a lot of us understand POAPs and NFTs and how they work, and then I kind of have an idea of how that actually works with getting some of the revenues to public goods, and as you said, reducing the medical debt. But could you elaborate on that so that all of our users have a better understanding of the process and how you're getting a part of revenue and stream it towards the medical debts and reducing that?
Yeah, sure. So let me pull up my spreadsheet so I've got real numbers for you. The mint is going to be 0.1337. So LEET, that is the mint amount. We're selling 9,950 rolls at 0.1337 ETH, which will be about 1,330 ETH, which at market price is about $4.7 million. So we've broken it down so that 16.5% of it's going to Giveth, 16.5% is going to Gitcoin, 20% is going to RIP medical debt, 10% is going into a charity DAO. We're going to spend 7% on marketing and 30% is going to the team. So inside, how do each of these work? So all of it is being sent to a multi-sig. That was the easiest way for OpenSea to be able to configure it and to be able to send secondary sales. On a monthly basis, the DAO is going to meet to, so the multi-sig is going to meet to make sure that each of the buckets get what they're supposed to get. The 10% that's going into the charity DAO is going to be a Moloch DAO, maybe. But the actual mechanism is not determined. The bare bones of it will be that you'll be able to vote with your NFT. So one NFT, one vote. So you'd be able to hold more to be able to have I guess, an outsized vote. But the 10% of the overall fund, which would be, that's 133 ETH, just from the initial mint, it's earmarked for charity, but it'll be or like where the funds go inside of the space or to which charity will be decided by a vote of the DAO, and it'll likely be Snapshot. RIP Medical Debt is setting up a Giveth profile, and we're working with them to set up an ETH address to be able to make the donations. If they're not able to do that, we're gonna convert it for them and then make the donations over they said either 4 or 5 month period, in which case, because like all the medical debt doesn't exist at once and more medical debt creeps up over time. So what we would do is we'd put that into a fund that, well, one would be earning interest in DeFi, but then two, as medical debt creeps up in the counties that we want to target, we'll be able to just scoop up and continue to pay for those over 4 to 5 months. For Gitcoin, the first $50,000 that's raised for that bucket is going to be to make NFTP a funder in the Funders League. And then again, it'll be DAO vote to determine which grants we'd like to fund. So it's not just giving them the funds. The Rainbow Rose holders are actually going to have a say in which grants get funding on the Gitcoin platform. And then Giveth will be similar, but I think we're going to hand over a little bit more autonomy to, actually, I don't know how that one will shake out. It'll depend on what we as a DAO end up determining.
And one of the fun parts of this was that we will have to meet as a DAO and make proposals and make decisions and argue for which projects we support. If something pops up in Gitcoin grant round 13 or 14 that we really want to get behind, we'll be able to, using the secondary sales, or we'll see how the flow goes, but with secondary sales continuing through that same loop, we should have funds hopefully in perpetuity, question mark, for distribution, and we'll be able to come back on a regular cadence and influence each other on what projects we want to reward.
Yeah, I remember, Chair, remember our charity drive in Whaler DAO? That was really cool and really rewarding to like get together as a DAO and vote on charities. And yeah, I can't wait to do something like that again. I think it's pretty amazing.
I missed that meeting, but I heard about it, and that's definitely what we have in mind.
I had a mock trial or debate club theme that I was already running with from my high school days. That like we have to really argue and present cases for these projects, and then counter arguments, evidence.
I just realized that the inspiration for that charity DAO came from Whaler DAO. So
as you were describing it, I was like, man, this sounds like what we dreamed of for Whaler DAO.
yeah, it'll probably not be on IT chain, but
I think that's a wise choice.
yeah, it'll be, so we got the multi-sig on mainnet and Polygon, but it'll probably be on mainnet because it'll be less bigger moves, so gas won't be as much of a problem. There's not going to be lots of little moves. It'll be once a month that we meet to do it.
And as OpenSea pays out every month the secondary sales, so probably 1 week after or something like that, well, that'll be our regular decision point. And Yeah, there's something about the energy of the charitable cause. You bring it, it's how you bring together so many amazing people. Otherwise, things stay. I mean, we're an open community, ETH is, but kind of people stay in their boxes until a benevolent cause comes out and everybody comes together. And so if we can keep that energy going within the community and really bring it in, I think we seem to have something brewing here.
Are you guys planning on, if this is successful, will there be more out of this group to keep the party going?
Yeah,
It looks
even
like, yeah.
I don't want to say even if it's not successful, because it is going to be successful, but we have had some very fun conversations about what a V2 would look like, and obviously not going to talk anything about what V2 looks like before V1 drops. But there's some exciting ideas, and by exciting ideas, I mean I'm the king of scope creep, and Chair just kept saying, nope, that's V2. But yeah, there's some really fun toilet themed NFT concepts that are tastefully done. Speaking of tastefully done, the artist whose pseudonym we're not naming at the time, we're waiting for him to build up his profile. He decided kind of in the middle of it that he didn't want to be named. But I do want to like say that his work is outstanding. He's got a Web 2 job. We're really excited to try to see if we can continue if this is successful and bring him into the Web 3 space more full time and get him to continue doing projects like this. They are so cute. The original design was like it was interesting, but it didn't have that that cuteness factor. But when he or she got his or her yeah, when they got their metaphorical paintbrush onto it, it just
this looks to be one of those Web3 stories that it's going to change. I think it's already changed the perspective from this artist's life. That I knew them. I went to an arts high school, and so I have like creative friends everywhere, and now they're all doing all sorts of things. And as like reaching out to them, they are in a high position as a more creative person at candy company, and doing art for them and creative stuff for them. So this is their complete introduction. They are aware that NFTs are happening. Obviously, as an artist and creative person, you are, but completely unexposed to Web3, Ethereum, what's going on, and we did a completely generative project, 10 characteristic traits or like properties that are going to be possible, completely programmatically created. And this was their first run through this. They paired with the devs, and I was able to be on those calls, and it was pretty magical. And it happened within about a week and a half that this art was generated, and the quality of it, I think, speaks for itself. And there's going to be some really cool possibilities. There's some rare traits that you might find a punk in there, or some cool background logos, or something interesting. So especially like all the affiliated projects have little drops, little seeds here and there. So that's been one of the more exciting things for me, is to be able to onboard somebody completely non-Web3 native, which is kind of what I enjoy doing anyway. Bring in creators who have no idea what's going on ETH or Web3 in general, and show them, hey, this is the party we're having over here, and we're trying to do good and have fun and change the world at the same time. So
amazing.
Yeah.
That's like us at BrightID. So I see Sadhu has his hand up. Let's make sure that your question is about rainbow rolls. Go ahead, please. Okay. Maybe he'll ask it later. But I have a question. So we have a vibrant, awesome community at BrightID, and they love to find out about new things going on in the space, and a lot of them are kind of new to Ethereum, but they're they're really just devouring information. So what is the call to action? What do you want to tell our community? What should we do with rainbow roles?
There are going to be, so first of all, probably most people are verified. And if not,
yeah,
get
so
on
most
BrightID.
people are verified. So we're already like,
Yeah.
one step ahead. So what should we do as verified BrightID users?
It would be great. Everyone as a community, I will be taking the lead, but as new people come on board, we probably have all experienced it already if we're here, that people will need a little bit of instruction, or there is people that aren't completely Web3 onboarded need to understand, okay, scan, I'm connecting with you. So really general BrightID support. If you see somebody that is putting in a wrong command or being confused, give them a little encouragement. I plan to do
We'll probably do some verification parties.
yeah, that's what yeah, this is like
Cool.
the verification parties will be at least a weekly thing, but we're gonna
Awesome.
need to do that probably starting today, tonight, going into this weekend. So those will be around, and obviously keeping the we'll have our rules set out, but basically mirroring the exact rules of verification parties for, right? Not that we will
Connection
be
parties though, Chair.
connection, yeah,
parties.
because I just realized I'm
Yeah.
saying V when I should be saying C, connection party.
Are connection parties the same as they were a year ago, or are they
Yeah.
different now?
It's
Yeah,
pretty,
they're
pretty
about the
close to
same.
the same.
Okay, so I could probably lead one.
Yeah, you can definitely
Way longer, though.
lead one. So that, yeah, let's make sure let's make sure that happens in the Rainbow Rolls community. And so if I'm hearing correctly, what we should do is bring our friends, bring our family members, get them onboarded, like get them into the get them into BrightID, bring them
So-
over here, tell
so
them about
there's
this great
some-
opportunity. So what about so this massive community that we have of people who are already BrightID verified, like they came for Gitcoin, they came for Rabbit Hole, they came for Rarecoin and stuff like that. So they're looking for what's the next thing I can do with my BrightID, and now Rainbow Rolls is here. So what should they do? They're already verified. They're already, on our Discord. So obviously they come over to your Discord, and then what are the next steps?
So there's going to be channels that are only accessible through being BrightID verified. And there are going to be exclusive giveaways that are given in those channels. So you guys have a head start. The first set of giveaways is going to be done this weekend, and there are still only a little under 400 members of the Discord. So you've got an outsized chance to win. There's a Gleam that we have, which we'll put the link for in the chat, which is a separate giveaway that we're doing to help spread awareness on Twitter. You can win, and I'm a big fan of Costco, so these are all Costco items, but they have a luxury like Japanese toilet that you can win. There's a premium one, and then there are a few of the non-smart. Well, it's still smart, but it's not the premium one. It's still like $400 for the toilet, but we're giving a bunch of those away. So you'd be able to win one of those. And then Tuesday, obviously, being able to mint as part of the, I'm trying to think of the whitelist. Is there a way to?
There will be a way to whitelist, and that's something that we're still constructing a few of the details for the mint, but we will be whitelisting, green lighting a number of projects. So if you're holding certain ERC20 tokens, but also we'll be collecting addresses in a yet undetermined way. And if you're a verified BrightID user, that will be where you will be submitting it within that gated off BrightID only verified section. Beyond integrating BrightID into sort of a required integration that that the users have to have in order to be eligible for things, there will be some early access perks for pre-mint. And who else? If you hold a Loogie or a who Who else? Oh,
So-
well,
So the thing that we came across was that for when building the whitelist, it had to be the way our devs constructed this. It has to be a mainnet token that we're checking the balance of. So if there is a BrightID specific POAP that is on mainnet, because I know a lot of them are on
it's a bright
XDAI,
token.
and the bright token, a lot of them are on XDAI. I know I claim mine on XDAI. But if there's a mainnet thing that we could do to whitelist,
The most straightforward, I think, is bright token on mainnet, but it does exclude people. But hey, why'd you claim on XTAG? No,
Yeah, they claim on XDAI because transaction fees are cheap.
yeah,
That said, the average person that claims on XDAI is probably less likely to mint an NFT, at 0.1.
that's also true.
the question about gas wars is that's one way we're trying to avoid. That's that is the elephant in the room sometimes with this, and but pre-minting to communities, allowing them to get in will hopefully taper that a little bit. But
Yeah, I think so the whitelist is gonna be able to mint before 4:20 Eastern. I think there's only 3,000 or 4,000 addresses that are gonna end up on the whitelist, so I don't think that that'll cause too much.
we don't know what percentage of people are on it. There will be probably many eligible users, but
And those addresses, is that a one per, or can those addresses go nuts?
I think they can go nuts, but though I think that we just
20
it's
max
20 at a
per
time.
transaction. Yeah.
It would be
For
really lame if you sell out before you actually open the public mint, right?
Yeah, I don't see
FYI.
that, I mean, that would be crazy, but I don't anticipate that happening. I
if
guess anything's
Crazy
possible.
things happen to people and NFT launches. That's,
Yeah, so
if,
that's still
it's
being
true.
finalized, so I think we can probably safeguard against that.
Yeah, we're actually, to go real inside baseball, we're working on that today and this evening.
Hey, what are you guys discussing?
This is my favorite part.
Sounds like we have a
Weird
question.
that I can't mute him. Like
Yeah, me
I
too.
press mute and nothing happens.
oh, Erica, he's muted now.
Okay, raise your hand if you have a question. We're taking questions right now. So if you have a question for Josh or Chair, please raise your hand.
I think we definitely have some follow-up items with the in terms of bright holders on mainnet and what functionality beyond, like what features beyond like exclusive access, let's say, to the giveaways. Something that's going on, like it's something that we're actively thinking about and looking to implement. So connection parties, we're going to need people to be using BrightID in their flow if they're going to be involved in the Rainbow Rolls community. So, being around but as you get your eyes on folks who might need some support, and this is like obviously for the greater community here, but then participating in the channels that are sort of BrightID verified as we get that community going, and hopefully we can have a weekly connection party. That would be great. That would hit some quota goals I'm looking for.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. So I think Petrus, did you raise your hand? Would you like to say something? Okay, he wants to say something. We'll see if it's about Rainbow Rolls. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not actually talking about Rainbow Rolls. I want to say something about the giveaways you said will be coming up this weekend.
Sure.
Yeah,
Are
sure.
there any requirements for the giveaway?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Are there any requirements for the giveaway?
Okay, so I'll start at the top. So to be eligible, yeah, you'd be able to access them inside of the private areas of the Discord that are BrightID verified. For things like the custom squatty potties, we can ship those anywhere in the world. I know the Peloton is only able to be shipped to a certain number of countries. But the toilets, I believe, can be shipped anywhere.
So there's one bicycle being given away this weekend. Is that the timeline for that?
I believe Monday.
Monday, I think
Mondays,
so.
Monday?
The first Peloton that we're giving away is based off of the invite contest in the Discord. Obviously, if you win that and you don't live in one of the eligible countries, we'll figure something out for you. We're not going to say sorry, and the next guy gets it.
There's an NFT that correlates with the Peloton.
Yeah, you get an NFT and then you can redeem the NFT. You keep the NFT, but you can redeem it by January 1st to get the 1 year free service, and then we coordinate shipping. The other 9 will be given away throughout the next week or so as we go through the mint and the ongoing reward. To try to encourage secondary sales. There's a fun game mechanic that we're building that I don't want to tease yet in case we're not able to build it.
All of the giveaways will have, or most of them, let's say, the bigger ones, the higher items will have NFTs corresponding with them, and we also have a 1-of-1 set that is set to release after the initial mint. And likely, because this is moving so fast, but it's very likely the BrightID folks will have exclusive access to being able to get their hands on one of those 1-of-1s. So and moving forward, that's the direction that we'd like to take. Especially, this is a very human project. BrightID proves humanness, and so
Proof of
you know.
poop.
Say it again.
Proof of poop. Proof
So
of
that's something I've
poopability.
been thinking about, and we do have an NSFW channel. You have to agree. By the
No.
way, I'm gonna cut that right there. You're absolutely right. So
Vetoed.
thank you. I need that kind of. Whoa. So basically, like as we are approaching the mint, there will be a lot more communication going out. I do see anybody that's having issues. I saw a few people saying that they can't type. Make sure that you are reacting to.
Yeah, so you should also go and create your own Discord link, which it looks like a bunch of you have because there's an invite contest. You're sharing it in here where most of the folks are already members is not going to net you too many invites. But if you go to Twitter and tweet those out or into other Discords that you're members of, you'll probably see significantly more success.
Can I ask a question about the campaign that you have with Giveth and how you are making payments for reducing your medical debt? So I understand that the revenue going to that Giveth campaign, and I understand that the goal. And then there is this huge number of people, and I assume that it's all in the US. But how do you select these people? Is this something that like people reach out to you, or you have a way of finding people that are in need more than others?
Okay, so I'll start with Giveth and then I'll go on to the RIP medical debt. So with Giveth, and I don't know if they've announced how their Give program's going to work, so I don't want to get into the details of that, but the the stool sample, that was a good one. The project, so because we were not able to build this directly into the contract, when you buy and sell, well, when you mint and then when you buy and sell the token, you're actually generating donations to Giveth, and that donation that's going to Giveth is earning Rainbow Rolls the project Give tokens, which then we are going to distribute to the person or to the addresses that actually do the buying and selling. We weren't able to do it at the smart contract level, not on the shorter time and before their smart contracts exist for that. But that's one of the things we're working on. At the micro level for the way RIP medical debt works is they bulk buy medical bills from like collections and hospitals and whatnot. So I don't know how individuals get into their process. I think it's related to how they're able to acquire the medical debt. There was one person who came to us who said that they had medical debt that they wanted relieved, and they created a giveth thing for themselves, which I imagine you could also create a Gitcoin grant for yourself. I guess if we have some sort of verification process, and there is a little bit of manual decision making in terms of what on Giveth we fund and what on Gitcoin we fund. So if there are people in the Web3 space, because through RIP medical debt, this is just kind of just out in the public and out there. But I guess if somebody wants to create a Gitcoin grant and say, "Hey, look, I'm part of the Rainbow Rules community. I have medical debt that I would like waived. Can you please fund my Gitcoin grant?" That's something that the DAO would be encouraged to consider.
It seems like it's
I was just gonna say, like, for people that want their medical debt waived, their medical debt may not be available to waive at anywhere near the like 1% rate that medical debt is getting. You know, that
Right.
that debt that you're excluding is like really overdue debt. That like
Life
the
crippling.
lowest tier of collector vultures are.
Yeah. And if they're accepting a penny on the dollar, they are not expecting it to ever come back.
Right. The benefit to the people is they're not getting horrible, harassing calls and things from these vulturous debt collectors.
And the value of waiving it, even though, so the individual's not able to pay it off, the collector is never going to get the money, but it's hurting their credit score to the point where they're not able to rent an apartment or open a credit card or a bank account. And so this is
relieving
kind
the
of
psychological burden of knowing that it's there. Every phone call coming in,
Yeah.
wondering, it's screening, mail. It's something that's sad. If you're saddled with it, you're saddled with it for a while. Like so it's something like it's a form of healing to be able to release the burden of debt, whether it's that you actually have to pay it off or not. It's like, imagine it's like the mob bringing down your deck a little bit all the time. Like, hey, you still owe, but you still owe a little bit. So that just psychologically relieving that is, it has an effect for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's a step towards some of us dream as healthcare as a universal human right. It's a step towards that. It's like, okay, let's say that I mean, some countries already have that, but let's say that you have leftover debt even after a country makes a transition into universal healthcare. It's like unless we have programs like this in place, it's not going to magically erase the debt for people who already had medical debt. But we should definitely be doing that.
Yeah. And this is just V1. So for whatever may come after V1, we may expand beyond medical debt to whatever the theme of the second drop is.
Go in a Habitat for Humanity direction, like the house built by TP. This house built by
Yeah. One of the things that I we negotiated with one of the things we negotiated with RIP Medical Debt was when they relieve debt, they send a letter explaining like what happened and that their debt was relieved. And we're going to get included in those letters an explanation of NFTP and that it was an Ethereum sub-community that came together to help make this possible. And hopefully we can turn this into an onboarding experience.
Josh, as you said that, since John Oliver did this a few years ago to a smaller degree, when this is, you should totally reach out to that program, because if he could do a little segment about you guys, that'd be killer.
We got to sell out the mint, and then I'm going to talk to John Oliver.
Daddy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his for years. Anybody else have the stamps? Yeah, he did a stamp collection. That was Okay. Go on.
What about the ducks?
No, that was last week's episode. A couple years ago, he made to help save the USPS when like Trump was shutting down
Oh,
post
yeah.
offices. He did a custom like last week tonight stamp. I bought a bunch of those.
I saw it.
I don't know if it, did good, but the post office still exists, so we did something right.
If anybody has any issues with the Gleam, I'm getting a few messages. Keep continuing through the Gleam. Once you do your Discord invite, your Twitter, keep clicking continue, continue, continue. You're all done when you get to the invitation code and all the other check boxes are checked. At
Yeah,
that point,
we haven't given out the code to anybody. I
might
guess
be-
this
this
would
might
be a
be a
good
good
place
place.
to, it is this. I'm gonna drop it here. Don't share it outside of this room, please.
Yeah, feel free to drop it in the chat there.
I'm gonna drop it in
And
the chat so it doesn't end
it's
up on
not gonna
YouTube.
make it on YouTube. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So I didn't say it. The fourth to last letter is not a letter. Just
Yeah, there's a
you're gonna-
0 in there instead of an O.
uh-huh.
Just so you know.
Yeah, don't say it aloud so it.
Oh
But
yeah,
this
but
is
that's one character out of many characters.
No, I mean the name. Yeah, so
All right, I'm
yeah,
not gonna.
so-
Yeah, don't no one say the name out loud, or we'll have to censor
So
this video.
just so you guys know, when you fill out the Gleam, which I still have to give actually, if you go to the nftp.fun and then you go to you click that top button, it takes you to our pre-launch contest. Here is the link for that, which is an invitation to like our Twitter, send out a tweet, which only works if you send the exact tweet without editing it. Joining the Discord, signing up for the email list. And if you do all that, you get to a last one, which allows you to put in a secret code. And those letter number characters that I just put in there is the secret code. You guys are the first to see it. Secret code is good for an extra 10 entries into the contest. We'll be doing some special things for the contest winners. So
Alpha League. Which direction does an ETH maxi wipe? My wife is saying hello.
I want the answer.
well, don't answer it aloud.
Oh man, I was gonna do it in Spanish, but I don't know. Solo. So any further questions in relation to the what's it called? I
When
always
did you
forget the
guys
Gleam.
when did you guys get those really cool, when did you switch from Phil's orange to the Adams
Hello.
orange?
Darker orange.
Yeah, go to swag.brightid.org, I think.
Yeah, but he just
That
asked
should
when
take
we
you there.
switched.
Oh, when we switched? Yeah, as soon as we open the swag store. So if you go
What is
to
it?
the swag store,
Swag
you'll see the new
dot
swag.brightid.org should take you there. Let's see.
Nice. Nope.
Nope, dang it. Okay, just go to brightid.org and click on swag.
Okay.
But this is the real. This is the OG.
Or click on store. Click on
Oh, it's store.
Yeah.
So it's bonfire. So
Yeah, it's Bonfire. You
ah,
probably have something way better than Bonfire that you use, don't you?
no, actually we use
Okay.
Metafactory for all of our drops.
Okay.
Have you considered Metafactory? Let me pitch
No.
you on Metafactory real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to at some point do
Can they
something
take
cool with
can they take crypto?
Yeah,
and-
they use
and deliver
they use
swag?
the Coinbase store. So yeah, quick plug for Metafactory. When you drop something on their store, which is how we did a lot of our fulfillment for ETH Denver this last year.
Mhm.
What the buyer, so the seller earns robot and the buyer also earns robot. You earn 42% back in robot. So let's say you no, you don't need to remove anything from the tweet. It wouldn't have let me put it up if it wasn't the perfect. It's actually one character short. So you may have added a space or something. You get 42% of the purchase price back. So you'd probably you drop a sweater at like $90 and then you get like 40 something dollars back in robot And then you can also add Bright rewards to it if you wanted to. And then, so there's just a quick story about what we did for ETH Denver. We did a, this is the Gwei limited edition shirt that we sold for 1 ETH, which was 1850 at the time. We sold 54 of them like that. MetaFactory raised like 90 grand, and we ended up getting about $300,000 worth of robot because of how, yeah, that turned your yeah, highly recommended. So if you've got and it looks like you have a strong community of folks who are interested in swag, it's a great crossover to partner with them and get that hooked up. I love the
Excellent.
orange.
Yeah. Yeah. We have, I mean, we have the person that set up our bonfire, but I mean, the DAO could sponsor setting up a different store, or we could just maybe get the same people who set up this store just to switch over to MetaFactory. It sounds way better.
Or just use both, like, why not?
Yeah, you just so keep your store for what you've got, and then it's just like for one limited edition drop, like if you got a special hoodie or something.
Oh, okay. I
Not
see.
for like all of your merch.
Oh, so it's not appropriate just to have like a long running store with all the swag.
You could. They do a like a longer partnership. They did like a treasury exchange with Bankless DAO, and part of the deal was 10 drops. So there's is it 10? A number of drops. So that's like an ongoing. I think Gitcoin has an ongoing. It's a great. I love the tokenomics.
Dang, that sounds amazing. What would be really sweet is if you or someone who has been listening to this, so that it's not always me personally doing this, created an idea in our forum for doing some merchandise drops through MetaFactory. That would be sweet. So it's just, it's forum.brightid.org, and we have an ideas category. And this is a great idea that our DAO should get behind. So yeah, please put that up.
Cool. Yeah, I will definitely submit a. Let's see, where's the idea?
I will definitely get behind it.
Awesome. There are a few different ideas categories.
Oh
Social
yeah,
network
yeah.
uses BrightID?
Even if you don't, even if you make an uncategorized post, but like other people can slap a category on or whatever. Just the important thing is that we get this down for other people to look at.
Okay, will do.
Awesome.
Fun.
Yeah. Okay. Someone's asking. So Poslar, did you want to do the thank yous, the official thank yous, to our guests?
Oh, sure.
We have a DAO.
We have a DAO.
We have
Yes,
a DAO.
we
It's
have,
huge.
We have a DAO.
DAO.brightid,
BrightID.
DAO.brightid.org.
Oh, I think I'm a member.
yes,
You're a member.
Gardens.
in the
Yeah, it's a
chat.
garbage.
Brian was asking how to join the DAO. I was just giving the link. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll put a link to the GitHub or the Git book that tells how to join the DAO. But you go on with your thank yous, because I think it's time to thank our
Sure.
guests.
Yeah, we are up to the hour. We have 3 minutes, but fine. Josh and Chair, thank you very much for the awesome project and giving us alpha information about that code. And yeah, I hope everyone signs up for that, and we are all ready for the next 4 days to get our beautiful roles. And yeah, thank you everyone for being here, and we will see you again next week and for another community call. But for now, I want to thank you again, and I'm going to stop recording.
Okay. Are you guys checking the chat?